Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Hello, this is Mark Denham and welcome to podcast episode 27. Normally we would record two intros for this. We would record the video intro and then just take the audio and stick it on the audio only version. However, this week I've got a streaming cold and I'm pretty certain nobody wants to see my glowing bright red nose either. The bad news is, of course, some would call it man flu. And I've therefore struggled this week to explain to my man flu how unfair it is that my man flu cannot be aided by man-sized tissues, because apparently they're not suitable for all. So I have struggled with that this week. On the way on the podcast, we've got some strange words, we've got some dating dilemmas and more. As usual, it is the best bits of Drive Time. You can catch it live every weekday, 4 until 7 UK time here on atomradio.co.uk. But if you hang around for the next few minutes, you will catch the best bits of this week's show. Enjoy.
Atom Radio, ooh yeah, playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
It's 26 minutes to 5. It is Monday. I want to talk to you about words. Now, I saw a sign on the road that said flood. F-L-O-O-D. Flood. But then I thought, hang on a minute, how can that be? Because if you're going to eat, then you sit down for food, which is F-O-O-D. Put the L in, it doesn't become flued, does it? You see, so how can it be? I mean, if you think about it, if you were to sit down for FUD, which was what it would be if you said it the same as flood without the L, then it doesn't really sound very attractive, doesn't it? Yeah, should we have some flood? Doesn't sound quite so attractive. But then also, for example, if you like books and you live in Berkshire, you could do reading in Reading. And they're both spelled exactly the same way though, aren't they? You see, like you read a book, you could be ready to go. And yet these are basically the same word with just, a slight change. You've got Reading and reading is exactly the same word, spelled exactly the same way. Slough, cough, rough. Just a different letter, and listen to how that changes. Slough, cough, rough. Whoever thought of this? Like when they were putting together the English language, who sat there and thought, I know, let's confuse everybody by doing this? Imagine if you are learning English as a second language, you're thinking, this makes no sense to me at all.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
I was talking about words, like Reading, reading, flood, food, cough, rough, slough. And I was just thinking, this is going to sound like I'm picking on you now. Hello to you if you are Hermione. How on earth is your name Hermione? It's Hermy1 if you spell it out, Hermy1. How's that Hermione? Or if your name is Neve, N-I-A-M-H. How is that Neve? I mean, how? When you're thinking, we'll call our child Neve, but we'll confuse her for her early years by spelling it N-I-A-M-H. When you're young and people say, when you ask how a word's spelled, you're like, how do you think it's spelled? Neve, N-E-V, N-E-V-E. That'd make sense, wouldn't it? But N-I-A-M-H. Come on. And Hermy1, what's going on?
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Ultravox dancing with tears in my eyes. Wipe them away then. Wipe them away. You know it makes sense. A man called for an ambulance to come to his home to do a DNA test because his partner cheated. I mean, does this man have any idea how much it costs to send an ambulance? This is according to a New Year's Day conversation posted on Twitter by the Northwest Ambulance Service. The operator for the ambulance service asked the man, is the patient breathing? To which he replies, okay, I'm just ringing because my partner has cheated on me and he wants a DNA test. You don't need to call an ambulance for that, mate. You just don't. I'm beginning to see perhaps why he was cheated on.
Yeah!
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
It's Tuesday afternoon. We're on atomradio.co.uk. We're on iTunes Radio. We are on your smart speaker and we're on your mobile phone as well via the TuneIn app. Hello to you. If you're listening for the very first time, you're very, very welcome. Small people, big cars, such an annoyance, isn't it? I waited and and waited for this huge car to be parked. And then eventually, when it was parked, because let's be honest, it was going backwards, forwards, and nobody could get past. When it was parked, eventually, the tiniest little man, maybe 5 foot, got out of the car. And I was just thinking, you know what? You just didn't need that car, did you? There's just you on your own. You didn't need that car, did you? If you are a tiny person, get a car that you can see and control. That's my top tip to you today.
Drive time with Mark Denham.
It's Atom Radio, online 24 hours a day, streaming from Slough, United Kingdom, and you got Mark with you on the big drive home. Now, Google has said that its assistant, the Google Assistant, will soon be listening on 1 billion devices. You know what that tells me? That tells me that's 1 billion ways that you can have fun by just going up to somebody or standing near them if they've got an Android phone and saying, "Okay, Google," because it just happens, doesn't it? You know, and if you can, if say someone at work has an Android phone, just while they're not looking, maybe they've gone to the toilet, left their phone on their desk. "Okay, Google, set an alarm for 4:30 in the morning." They'll never notice.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Mark with you until 7 o'clock tonight. This dating dilemma then, right? Brain Teaser is on, and the Facebook, the Twitter, the email in use for that. But also, email me. Was the guy right or wrong here? Okay. It's all about a date. Now, for me, I would pay the bill on a date. I would pay the bill, if I'm entirely honest, all right? But there's a problem here with somebody from Ireland. He shared the deluge of abuse he received from a woman after he refused to foot her bill at a restaurant. Now, he ordered dinner and it came to €17.50, whatever they are, cents I think they are, aren't they? Her lobster and wine that she ordered was £110. He therefore put forward his £17.50 to pay for it, leaving her to pay her £110. Sharing screenshots of the conversation, he attempted to ask her out on a second date, to which she replied, "After what you did last time, you expect me to go out with you again? Wow." He received a torrent of abuse over this, but then who's in the right, who's in the wrong? He wrote back to her, "So you invited me, you're lucky you didn't have to pay for my food too, plus I got a carbonara and a beer while you got lobster and €80 wine." This is about 72 quid for her wine. He goes on to point out that his food was much cheaper than hers, pointing out also that he's a student and not a sugar daddy. His date fails to see his point, adding, "Wow, you're so rude. I'm never ever going out with you again. If you can't pay for a girl's food, then why are you accepting the invite?" She then went on to serve him a torrent of abuse instead. So yeah, like, what would you do in that situation? All right, she asked him out on a date. She ordered €110 worth of food and drink. He ordered $17.50 worth of food and drink, and she expected him to pay the lot. What would you do in that situation? Now, I am quite old-fashioned in that if I was going on a date, I would expect to pay. But in that situation, what would you do? She asked him. She had so much more on the bill than he did. Who should have paid? Split it 50-50? Should she have paid for hers and he have paid for his? What would you do? On air at atomradio.co.uk. You can also use that for our brain teaser as well. Your question today: in which century did the Mary Rose sink? So that email address, or Facebook or Twitter if you have an answer for the brain teaser. And if you do want to let me know what you would do in that situation on the date, who's right, him or her, use the email on air at atomradio.co.uk.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
It's 4:45. It is Wednesday afternoon. We're online until 7 o'clock on Drive Time. We're online 24 hours a day, playing the music you want to hear. So this Tinder thing crashed for users around the world, apparently. Desperate singletons were left seeking answers for the mystery outage. Now, I hid my Tinder ages ago, and I reactivated it on New Year's Eve for about an hour, and I just no. And then I thought, I'm bored of this, so I hid it again. And that was on New Year's Eve. Now, yesterday, Monday, this story has just reminded me. On Monday evening, I got a notification from Twitter. Hey, someone has liked you. Open Tinder now and swipe right to find out who. How have they liked me when my profile is hidden? How have they liked me? See, this just proves that these Tinder notifications are just clickbait in the hope of getting you to sign up for their Tinder paid plans. So there you go. If you do use Tinder, it's all just a load of male cow.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
It's Atom Radio at 6:27 on Wednesday. I've left this NTA thing here, and I'm just having a look at it now. Others nominated alongside Ant and Dec for Best TV Presenter include Holly Willoughby, Philip Schofield, Bradley Walsh, and Graham Norton. Now, the interesting one there is Philip Schofield has been nominated, as has Holly Willoughby, but not together. So therefore, why not nominate either Ant or Dec rather than the two of them? They are not one. They are two. It's Best TV Presenter. Otherwise, Philip and Holly may as well go together. You may as well put Eamon and Ruth in that as well. Bradley Walsh and Mark Lebet and the rest of the Chasers should all go perhaps in there as one. Who knows?
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Streaming around the world on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn for your mobile phone, on iTunes Radio, or on the smart speaker as well. Do you know what? I was thinking in the post-Christmas sales, I was thinking, shall I get myself a smart speaker? And I thought, no, why would I? I've got a phone that has Siri on it, so why would I get myself a smart speaker? And not only that, I don't have one of these connected households with the Wi-Fi connected lights and the Wi-Fi connected thermostat and all that. So what would I ask it to do? If you get a Google one, then it connects to your Google account, which is fine, but I don't keep any of my stuff in Google, so that's a waste of time. And if you get the Amazon one, I don't really know quite what it does, but I just don't know that I have any use for it. So yeah, other than that though, if you have got one, you can listen to Atom Radio on it, which is good news. I'm looking at these questions for this IQ test, right? And I'm thinking, some of these questions are pretty random, all right? Entomology is the science that studies what? Eritrea is a country in... What is the square root of 441? Why would you ever need to know those, is my question. Seriously, why would you ever need to know those? I know this is a test of measuring your IQ, but surely, even if you're a boffin, surely you need to know what you need to know for life. The square root of 441, who cares if you know that? You can just ask your phone or work it out on a calculator. Who cares about that? But that is one of the questions on this test that's going to verify your IQ level. Have you noticed, though, that we didn't do that one together? That's a quiz that we're not doing together.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
So the story I forgot to tell you from yesterday, a lady who, she had a problem with her eye. She was trying to treat her eye condition. She's now caused herself chemical injuries after she took erectile dysfunction cream and smeared it all over a dry eye instead of eye cream. The unknown patient from Glasgow was treated at A&E after she used this erection cream to treat her problem. She was given antibiotics, lubricants and steroids. What? After she suffered blurred vision and lid swelling as a result of using the wrong cream. You mean she suffered swelling as a result of using this erection cream?
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Alice Cooper, Poison, on Atom Radio, on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn, on iTunes Radio, and your smart speaker. It is Thursday's drive time at 24 to 5. I'm just thinking about this lady then that we were supposed to mention yesterday, that we finally mentioned today, who smeared erectile dysfunction cream all over her eye to try and treat dry eye. Imagine, can't you, like going to A&E. What's the problem? And you have to actually admit that, don't you? And then the embarrassment for your partner as well, who obviously has the erectile dysfunction cream. It's not good, is it? It's one of those things you could see featuring on that Embarrassing Bodies program, isn't it? But I don't really think a consultation by Dr. Christian by Skype would help in that case, would it? I was just trying to treat my eye, and it was so dry I couldn't see what I was doing. So instead of rubbing eye cream on it, I managed to rub erectile dysfunction cream all over my eye, and it swelled. That's the great part for me, and it swelled.
Drive time with Mark Denham.
It's 4:45. Little secret celebration here in the studio. I've got a pot of chewing gum just on the desk. You know, you get these pots of them now. And I've got it just on the desk. And just while that was playing, I've just knocked it off. And it landed the right way up. So I was thinking, yeah, I've just done the bottle flip challenge. But it's one of those things I bet I couldn't do again. Hang on. I'm going to knock it off right now and we'll see whether it happens. Ready? Here we go. Right, it's got to land the right way up. Ready? Oh, no. It hasn't landed the right way up this time. It's a 50-50 now. I'm not happy. Hang on. I'm going to do it again. Hang on. Right, I've got it picked up. Right, you ready? Here we go. We're going to try it again. Here we go, right? No. Now I'm losing. This is not good at all.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
This is Mark with you on atomradio.co.uk at 4:24 Friday afternoon. So this story then about the lady that, she went on holiday with her boyfriend of 3 years. So she's 20. She's been with him since he was 17. And she went on holiday with him to Australia. It was in Australia that she found that he had a second Snapchat account. From that second Snapchat account, she discovered that he slept with another woman and he'd be sending her racy messages from the other side of the world, whilst on holiday with Emily, his girlfriend, that is, saying that he wished he could be with her. She caught him out, okay? She confronted the woman in question first. Then she posted the images on Twitter. So the images that took place while they'd holidayed last year, their affectionate, lengthy missives reveal that on the night before the couple left for Australia together, Emily's partner had slept with the other woman before messaging her throughout the trip. And what she's done is she's screenshotted them. Imagine going on holiday to Australia for a month with your boyfriend of nearly 3 years, only to find out on the day you get back that he slept with someone else the night before you went and was messaging her on his second Snapchat the whole time that you were there, whilst lying next to him. She has actually screenshotted all of them and posted them online. So I would imagine that he's probably got dumped. For starters, he's probably been dumped. But I'm wondering whether the second lady has also dumped him as well. Now that she's found out that she was also being two-timed, because we don't know, do we? We don't know if she was being two-timed or not. Maybe she was told he was going on a lad's holiday or something. But yeah, if you are. And I wouldn't recommend it. I've never done it in my life. But if you are going to cheat on someone, then, A, it's pretty low. B, don't ever do it with this girl called Emily. She will bust you and she will own you. Just be careful. Don't do it is my top advice for you.
Drive time with Mark Denham.
Atom Radio, online 24 hours a day, streaming from Slough, playing the music you want to hear all around the world. 14 to 5, Nicky Romero, Alice Berg, and My Way. This is quite a shocking story. A man from Louisiana, he ate a friend's Siamese fighting fish and then sent her a photo of his poo after, with the caption, "I found your fish." That's quite disgusting, isn't it? He apparently ate the fish, then told the woman, "Check your fish tank," as he hurried out the door. Later on, then sending her a picture of his poo, saying that he had found the fish. That's horrendous. He was arrested for animal cruelty and cell phone abuse charges. It did happen in America, of course, hence why it's cell phone. He failed to appear in court to answer the allegations and was arrested on an outstanding warrant on Tuesday. So, yeah, that's disgusting, isn't it? Why would you eat somebody's fish like that? I know, we may go down the chippy and we may have fish and chips, but that's totally different. To take somebody's fish out of a tank and eat it, it's pretty sick, isn't it? It is pretty sick. Let's hope this time he's not bailed and he's just taken straight to court where he can face his charges. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? atomradio.co.uk. That is a horrendous new meaning, isn't it, to fish and chips? That's horrible. Who would do something like that? It's horrendous. It really is. Anyway, that is the best bits of this week's Drive Time without the video intro, because my glowing red nose would not appeal to absolutely anybody. Hopefully, I will be back to normal next week and we can have a video interview. Not a video interview, a video intro. Hopefully, we can have one of those. And hopefully, I won't sound like I am really, really ill. That's all right. It's all right. It'll all be better next week. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast this week. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to it. You'll get another episode next week. That'll be episode 28. You can catch the show live on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn, on iTunes Radio, and on your smart speaker Monday to Friday, 4 until 7. That is UK time every weekday, the Atom Radio Drive Time show. Whenever you are listening, enjoy the rest of today and the rest of your week. If you can't listen live, we'll catch you back for another podcast next weekend.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.